E-cigarettes are now being labeled as tobacco products, and restrictions on them are set to tighten. Seismologists say there's an increased chance of an earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, and a creative rally has been held in Los Angeles to encourage more empowerment among women.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Rivette Soro.
And I'm Trevor Edwards.
There's new research that states electronic cigarettes are more dangerous than previously thought. Valley View reporter Morgan Bertolotti has more.
There are over 2 million e-cigarette smokers in the United States. Many people use them as a way to quit smoking traditional cigarettes. The Centers for Disease Control found that vapor from e-cigarettes contain 31 harmful chemicals. 2 of those chemicals, acrolein and formaldehyde, are potential carcinogens. The FDA is now labeling e-cigarettes as tobacco products and evaluating how they are made and the potential dangers. Randy Farber has been working in the public health industry for 35 years. What is your opinion on e-cigarettes?
What they're doing is extracting the nicotine and some of the other agents from tobacco. It is a tobacco product. Anything that you're breathing into your body that isn't air is probably not a good idea. I think in the last 5 years, use in teens and young adults went from about 1.5% to about 15%. Huge increase.
In a study published by the journal Tobacco Control, researchers studied tobacco, pina colada, menthol, coffee, and strawberry flavors, with strawberry turning out to be the most toxic. This study suggests that various characteristics of e-cigarettes, including any flavorings, may induce inhalation toxicity, and therefore caution should be used with these products until more comprehensive studies are performed. Michael Rivera is the manager of Uncle Bud's Smoke Shop in North Hills. He believes that smoking e-cigarettes is not that harmful and is glad that the FDA is testing the products.
A lot of people that vape are ex-cigarette smokers. I think everybody still assumes it's better than cigarettes. I mean, just me personally, I kind of feel like it probably is. You know, there's still no proof on it, but just knowing all the stuff that's in cigarettes, I think that cigarettes is still worse.
Electronic cigarettes are a billion-dollar industry, and cities across America continue to ban the public use of the devices. Now that e-cigarettes are considered tobacco products and the legal smoking age has risen, consumers will have to be at least 21 to get their hands on them. In Northridge, Morgan Bertolotti, Valley View News.
Experts have said Southern California may be at risk of a strong earthquake. That's because a series of small quakes under the Salton Sea increase the chance of a larger earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. Earthquakes along the fault typically take place every 300 years. The last rupture was in 1680, so the region may be due for a major quake. The chances of a magnitude 7 or greater earthquake were as high as 1 in 100. Southern California residents are advised to always be prepared for major earthquakes.
LAPD Chief Charlie Beck says 18-year-old Carnell Snell Jr. was shot and killed during a foot pursuit after he turned towards the officers while holding a loaded semi-automatic handgun. Beck says Snell was shot once in the torso and once in the knee. There were protests after the shooting at the intersection of Western Avenue and 108th Street, not far from where Snell was shot. Some of the protesters were seen jumping on top of cars. Others drove their cars in the middle of the intersection and spun circles before speeding away. There were at least 4 arrests. Activists are asking for a quick investigation, and they want the officers who fired their weapons to be named.
President Obama suffered a defeat on his plan to establish an immigration policy to decrease deportations. The president made the plan through his executive authority rather than waiting for Congress to act. 26 states have claimed that President Obama had no authority to do so. The U.S. Supreme Court met in February to review the case, resulting in its high vote. The court will not reconsider the issue even after a new judge is appointed. Hillary Clinton says if she is president, she will try to reestablish the plan.
Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is stirring controversy with his comments on Hillary Clinton's marriage. Giuliani went after Clinton for the way she stood by Bill Clinton when he was accused of sexual harassment. Giuliani defended his comments on Meet the Press.
I've never ever attacked someone who's been the victim of sexual abuse. Not only that, I've put people in jail who've been the victim of sexual abuse.
All right. Well,
and I've never participated in that. And I think you're bringing up my personal life really is kind of irrelevant to what Hillary Clinton did. She's running for president. I'm not.
The topic came up after Donald Trump said he would retaliate because Clinton criticized his comments about Miss Universe. Giuliani is one of Donald Trump's top supporters.
The Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court has been suspended for defying the U.S. Supreme Court on gay marriage. The 9-member Alabama Court of the Judiciary suspended Roy Moore for the rest of his term. He defied a federal law that protects the right of same-sex couples to marry. The 50-page decision indicates that a majority of justices wanted to remove Moore, but were short on votes. Moore said he was shocked by the decision to suspend him and says it was politically motivated.
People in Haiti, Cuba, and Jamaica have been told to prepare for major damage from Hurricane Matthew. The U.S. Hurricane Center says Matthew can dump as much as 40 inches of rain. Families in Haiti were urged to stock up on food and water and prepare to be evacuated. The Jamaican Prime Minister says his country is prepared for the storm. This could be the biggest hurricane to hit Jamaica since Gilbert in 1988. Officials say Hurricane Matthew might hit the eastern coast of the U.S.
This year's Nobel Prize for Physiology has gone to a researcher who advanced the understanding of Parkinson's and other diseases. Japanese biologist Yoshinori Osumi discovered how cells recycle their content, called autophagy.
He managed to do ingenious experiments to find the genes that are important for a process called autophagy. This is a difficult word, but it means self-eating, and it's really a recycling and renovation system for all our cells.
Disrupted autophagy has been linked to Parkinson's disease, type 2 diabetes, and other disorders that mainly affect the elderly. 5 more Nobel Prizes will be awarded in other categories in the next few weeks.
More than 70 million children around the world live in countries that can't afford to send them to school.
CSUN student Catherine Michaels talked to Valley View News reporter Celine Zavala about her nonprofit to educate children in third world countries.
I have Catherine Michaels today, and she is the founder of Building an Education Foundation. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
So what was the story behind your nonprofit?
Well, when I was about 16, I went with my church on a mission trip to Nicaragua, and once I came back from the mission trip, I realized there were so many other things I could have done for the kids and that I felt like I wanted to do, and I got in contact with the head of the organization down in Nicaragua that we were helping. It was in a small village called El Tránsito, and what this lady, her name is Julie, what she was doing down there was she was helping the woman get a source of income and helping other people, like small business people, get loans. And I was talking to Julie, and she had a lot of trouble with finances and things like getting donations, because it's really hard if you're not an official nonprofit to get donations because they're not tax deductible and you just don't seem as, credible. And so anyways, I went back to Nicaragua, and I became really attached to all the people down there, and I realized that most of the kids there don't have like quality education like we have in the States.
And what was the process of getting your nonprofit started?
Well, it took about 18 months total to get Building an Education to be an official nonprofit. Mm-hmm. At first, I was using LegalZoom, and me and my mom were just trying to figure out how to make a nonprofit on our own. And then we realized that if we wanted it to be legit and really, clearly I'm not a lawyer, we wanted to make sure that it would be something that people would feel is real and definitely credible. So we went to lawyers to do that, and it cost a lot of money, so we had to raise money for that too. And but after 18 months and going to a couple of meetings with the lawyers, we were able to do it.
What was your hardest part about getting it started?
It was hard to find a name. It's a lot harder than you think. I mean, sometimes it's easy to find a name, but once I found the name, obviously it was pretty good from there, because I knew what purpose I wanted the nonprofit to have.
How often do you visit Nicaragua, or do you plan on going anywhere else?
I plan on going to Kenya, because we were helping this school in Kenya. Recently we've been helping them, and obviously I haven't gone over there, but I do plan on going there, and I plan on going back to Nicaragua pretty soon, but I want to make sure that every visit that I take to Nicaragua is very productive and actually makes a difference and is a good use of money. So, probably annually.
Does your nonprofit ever get in the way of school, like being a student and then going out to countries?
Well, normally when I go to countries, I make sure to plan to do that during my breaks and stuff, so I wouldn't skip school to do that. It definitely takes up a lot of time, sometimes, there's drops in it, like I'm waiting for something to get approved or, something of that sort. So then it's not as busy. But then once something gets approved and we're trying to plan things or trying to get a donation for something, it definitely gets busy. But I would say my grades would be the same with or without it.
So that's all the time we have. But that's Catherine Michaels. She's the founder of Building an Education Foundation. Now back to the studio.
The Taliban has assaulted the city of Kunduz in Afghanistan. The residents were reported fleeing their homes. Both Afghan and U.S. officials minimized the Taliban threat. Officials say militants attacked the city before dawn at 4 locations. A member of the Afghan parliament made an appeal for help, requesting NATO and the central government take immediate action to beat back the attack.
Indian and Pakistani troops fired at each other in Kashmir. Indian troops searched an army camp in the region where militants killed an Indian soldier. The gunfire lasted several hours, but there were no casualties. In Islamabad, Pakistan's prime minister met with the country's political leaders to discuss the ongoing clashes. He said he wants to send a message to the world that they are united against any threat.
An ISIS sniper has killed a Dutch photojournalist in Libya. Heroin Orlemans was shot in the chest several times while he was covering a battle between Islamic State and pro-government forces. The 45-year-old journalist leaves 3 small children and a girlfriend. Orlemans was previously kidnapped by ISIS in 2012 and was released 1 week later.
One of the main hospitals in Aleppo, Syria was bombed. This is the second time in 4 days that the M10 hospital has been attacked. The facility was hit by 2 barrel bombs, 2 cluster bombs, and 1 rocket. 1 person was killed and 15 people were injured. The large medical center was out of service after the attack. M10 had just reopened to assist with emergency care. The Syrian city is now left without any hospital, since a major surgical facility was also attacked during the week.
A hot topic on some college campuses is the demand for ethnically separated housing for students. Valley View News reporter Dana Lights asked CSUN students what they thought about it.
California State University Northridge may be looking into culturally themed housing. A story produced by the Sundial says students agree CSUN should offer culturally themed housing. CSUN has over 40,000 students. Professor Jessica McMillan says the school is extremely diverse.
I know CSUN is diverse. CSUN is one of the most diverse campuses, not just in the CSU, but in the United States. So for sure, and I think that we do a lot to provide cultural awareness. There's clubs for all different cultures, for people to meet others within their culture.
CSUN Housing has 7 living learning communities, such as the Freshman Living Experience and the Honors and Engineering Building. There are 4 themed living communities, such as The Voice and Matosphere. Residents in housing have mixed views if we should have culturally themed housing.
I completely agree we should, because it'll not only help people get more involved with their own culture, but also allow others to be educated.
That gives a safe place for a lot of the people from their culture to actually even learn more about their own culture.
I think it's not good for the community, especially for depending on where people come from.
We also have clubs that are culturally based, so if people really want to, they can join those.
All the Black people I know, we get along really well, and it's just nice to have Black people to be with.
Other universities like Cal State LA, Stanford, and UC Berkeley have culturally themed housing. There's been controversy of this new form of housing because it would be considered segregated. Third-year resident advisor Zachary Galmouche advises students from all different backgrounds.
Culturally themed housing at CSUN is something that can be explored in the near future and hopefully executed by our professional staff in the coming years, because it's something that I believe is emerging within the local community.
Even with mixed views from students on culturally themed housing, CSUN at almost every point of the day is immersed in cultural diversity. In Northridge, Dana Lights, Valley View News.
Basketball star LeBron James has endorsed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton.
I am so thrilled that LeBron James has endorsed me and joined our campaign. I hope to be elected president, but I know here in Ohio, LeBron will always be the king.
The 4-time MVP said in an op-ed piece that only Clinton understands the struggle of children living in poverty. James is an advocate for social and political issues and has encouraged fellow athletes to be more involved. Republican candidate Donald Trump has received athlete endorsements of his own, such as former NFL player Terrell Owens and golfer John Daly.
Keep watching out to find out which baseball player was honored with a street named after him as a retirement gift.
And which MVP quarterback's injury throws off the prediction for their next game. Now here's Michael Serrano with the latest in sports news.
Thank you, Rivette. One of the greatest Boston Red Sox players in the team's 115-year history played his final regular season game. The Red Sox honored slugger David Ortiz before their game against the Toronto Blue Jays. Ortiz stood with his father in front of a sold-out Fenway Park to thank his many fans and to say goodbye. During the special ceremony, the Red Sox revealed that they would retire Ortiz's number 34. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh was also there and gave Ortiz a street sign for David Ortiz Drive, a newly named section of road near Fenway Park. Ortiz had great numbers for his farewell season with 38 home runs, 48 doubles, and 127 runs batted in. The regular season for Major League Baseball has ended. The Dodgers finished the season in first place in the National League West. They lost their final regular season game 2-1 against the San Francisco Giants. The Giants' victory earned them a wild card spot against the New York Mets. It also marked Vince Scully's final broadcast of his 67-year career. The Dodgers will face the Washington Nationals in the National League Division Series. Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton suffered a concussion on Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons. Newton was hit early in the fourth quarter by Falcons linebacker Deion Jones while rushing for a 2-point conversion. Newton managed to lunge and get the ball across the goal line, but bounced a yard back after being hit in the helmet. He was evaluated on the sidelines and did not return to the game. Newton now must be cleared by a doctor and has to go through the league's concussion treatment before returning to the field. Cleveland Browns wide receiver Josh Gordon has checked into rehab center for the third time. Gordon has a history of alcohol abuse. In 2014, Gordon was suspended for 10 games for marijuana use. He was also suspended last season for drinking alcohol on a plane with teammates and a Browns assistant. Cleveland Browns coach Hugh Jackson says it is best to move forward and the team wishes him well. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected an appeal from the Washington Redskins challenging a law that bars offensive trademarks. The NFL team argues that the nickname is not offensive to Native Americans. The Patent and Trademark Office canceled the team's trademarks because Native American activists say the term Redskins is offensive. By one definition, a Redskin is the scalped head of a Native American sold like a pelt for cash. And now back to you.
CSUN has been featured in multiple movies such as Sky High and Legally Blonde 2. Now it's the location of a new television spinoff. Valley View reporter Ebony Hardiman has more on the story.
Cal State Northridge is getting its very own sitcom. A World of Difference is being filmed primarily on CSUN's campus and is a spin-off of the 90s TV show A Different World. The show will focus on issues that are affecting the African American community. CSUN student Ariel Rivers says that she has enjoyed being a part of the cast.
The people on the set are amazing. Everyone's friendly, everybody's cool. It's kind of like a family kind of vibe.
The show will take place at various places on campus, including outside the Veterans Resource Center, inside the library, and inside the East Conference Center. A World of Difference will also feature a cast that is primarily people of color. Former CSUN student Robert Delton says it's important the issues in the show are shown and discussed.
I feel like this show relates to people of our generation because as millennials, we need to have a voice and we need to know that we have one in the first place. And with us having a voice, we can actually change the community as far as one individual making action, taking strides to what we want to do.
Much of the cast is made up of CSUN students, so the show will shed light on many aspects of college life, such as dorming and Greek life. However, it will also focus on more serious topics, such as police brutality and lack of diversity. Writer Ashley Miller said she had to dig deep in order to write some of the more serious scenes of the show.
I had to tap into my emotions and how I would feel about certain situations, and especially the type of show that we're doing. And being Black and being in America in 2016, like how I react, so that's kind of how I tapped into the emotions with the characters.
A World of Difference will be screened at select universities, specifically historically Black universities, next year, before being pitched to a network or streaming service. Reporting from Northridge, Ebony Hardiman, Valley View News.
After the break, find out which reality TV star was robbed and held at gunpoint.
Which show's character is so strong that he broke Netflix.
And the second annual Slut Walk that raises awareness about sexual injustice and gender inequality.
Now let's go to Celine Zavala with news on entertainment.
Thank you, Trevor. Saturday Night Live has kicked off its 42nd season. The episode was heavy on political satire. SNL's takes on the first presidential debate included SNL veteran Kate McKinnon playing Hillary Clinton and Alec Baldwin playing Trump.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're being very mean to me tonight, Coltrane. Very mean to me. I was against the war. Ask anyone in the world named Sean Hannity. I told Sean Hannity.
SNL is known for impersonating presidential candidates like George W. Bush and Al Gore. This surely isn't the last we'll see of the pair. Baldwin is expected to continue to play Trump until the November election. Netflix debuted its third superhero series and broke the internet. Only a day after Luke Cage was released, the Netflix servers crashed for over 2 hours. Netflix viewers' statistics were not available, but it's possible that the release of the series contributed to the crash. Netflix quickly released a statement and promised they were working to get the server back up. Services have since been restored, however, some areas are still having difficulties. In addition to release of Luke Cage, Netflix added Titanic and Ferris Bueller's Day Off to its library. Kim Kardashian West was reportedly robbed at gunpoint in her Paris hotel. Reports say 5 gunmen posed as police officers and threatened a hotel worker to gain access to Kim's room. 2 of the men bound her hands and feet and gagged her. The culprits stole millions of dollars worth of Kardashian West jewelry. Her husband, Kanye West, was performing a show in New York at the time. He abruptly stopped the performance and told the crowd he had a family emergency. Family members say Kim was physically unharmed, but shaken by the ordeal. A walk that took place in downtown Los Angeles aimed to empower women in an effort to eliminate rape culture. Reporter Rivette Soro has more with that story.
The 2016 Amber Rose Slut Walk took place on October 1st in downtown Los Angeles. People united to raise awareness for women empowerment and fighting against victim blaming. Vendors at the walk featured multiple forms of artwork.
Amber Rose is helping me get my confidence through her movement. So this is why I'm here, to feel more confident about my body and see how other women are doing the same.
Attendees covered the wall of shame with their names, inspirational quotes, and messages that promote gender equality. The event included people from different walks of life, encouraging diversity within the movement.
Behind me, the pink carpet is swarming with celebrities in support of the cause. Amber Rose has become a powerful voice in today's pop culture, speaking out against slut-shaming, rape culture, victim blaming, and gender inequality.
After the march, multiple guests and performers took the stage to show their support. Fans created signs for the event that caught the eye of celebrity guests, including Perez Hilton and Amber Rose herself. Poetry was also read on stage.
Wide enough to fit an entire football team, or even your narcissism, but no one's as big enough for that.
Kendra Wilkinson used her voice to express the importance of gender equality.
They don't want us to work. They blame us, they shame us. They don't want us having power. They don't want us having power.
Today is really important for me to be here at the Slut Walk, because it's, it's time to create some change. We need to become free for ourselves, but free for our kids. We need to do the dirty work. We need to dig deep and rethink what we've been taught.
Amber Rose plans to continue giving women a voice in hopes of change. In Los Angeles, Rivette Soro, Valley View News.
That's all for entertainment. Now back to you.
Every October, many churches have a ceremony to show the appreciation for Earth's animals. Valley View News reporter Aura Bea Hernandez reports on one of the ceremonies in Buena Park.
The 20th annual Blessing of the Animals at St. Joseph's Church invited people from all surrounding neighborhoods to bring along their pets in honor of Francis of Assisi, considered to be the patron saint of all creatures.
Well, I just wanted to come here to get the blessing for my dog, and I also have a pigeon. And so I thought it would just be really neat to come here and have them blessed. And I love animals, and I just thought it was a really nice, worthy cause.
Church member Brenda Summers brought one of her furry friends for a special invocation.
My golden retriever Chloe just was diagnosed with cancer in June. She's just turned 6 years old and she's doing fabulous, going the holistic route, and with God's hands on her, I know this is the right place to be.
These animals were blessed with holy water along with an individual prayer.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Some brought pictures of their pets instead of having them stressed due to the heat and low tolerance of other animals. Abyssal priest Mary Trainer brought her 2 French bulldogs along with her to celebrate this commemoration.
I believe that the companion animal is actually a part of the whole kingdom, and that all these creatures are part of this web of relationships that God created. And so to link them and to have them be blessed is essential for me in my heart.
Make us ourselves to be true friends to animals, and so to share the blessings of the merciful. Amen.
St. Joseph Church is also having a free will offering that will benefit animal assistance groups. In Buena Park, Arabia Hernandez, Valley View News.
Man, I love dogs.
I know.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Trevor Edwards.
And I'm Rivette Soro. We'll see you next week.